Okay.
And welcome back to Charming Noise with the Turkish Diplomats. No, that's not the name of our show, is it? It's
No.
Turkish Diplomats present Charming Noise.
Yes,
You know,
Paul. We rehearsed this.
Thank God I volunteered to start us on this. Folks, we decided we got cut off even earlier than normal because there's just so much to talk about Mark of the Astro Zombies that we decided we would make a bonus episode. So maybe we'll throw this up a little bit later in the season. Maybe we'll throw it up sooner. Who knows?
Threw up already.
Yeah, we're vomiting. We're gonna vomit this show onto the internet. And so I am Paul Hogue, one of the minor co-hosts, sort of a demigod, if you will, to our primary host, who is Tom Cropeful.
Hello.
And our other primary host, Calvin Roach.
Hello. I have come down from the heavens to talk to you people again.
It's well, as long as it's pointed downward.
I just came downstairs.
I just came. All right, so to this room after getting some Coke.
So where we were cut off.
We're talking about props, I think.
Well, we were talking about props, and we were talking about the good aliens. So you want to talk about the good aliens that showed up for no apparent reason other than to save us?
Yeah.
Or talk about the props first?
Well, I do want to talk about one prop.
Okay.
In particular, whenever they were in the president's, there's the little thumbs up bubble, Tom. Whenever
I didn't get it.
Maybe I got it then. But anyway, whenever they're having the president's council of super brains or whatever who were there to formulate a plan, if you looked at the secretary, she had like a tape. She's like holding a cassette recorder, and she would move her fingers like she was typing, but never touched.
Yeah, I couldn't figure that one. It was like she was playing a game or something.
But but actually, she never touched it with her fingertips while doing that, which kind of made me wonder: were they recording the dialogue on that cassette recorder, and they didn't want her tapping on it or something? I don't know.
Well,
that was it was just a recorder, wasn't it? It was like one from early 70s.
Like the kind we got for Christmas. We all got for Christmas at one point.
My favorite prop was, and I can't tell you what they were doing because I never could. Maybe you guys, when they had the one that had the tubes going into their murder zombies, the Astro Zombies, that had the green fluid and the red fluid. And I think the red fluid was blood and the green fluid was like the alien blood or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And I thought that was a pretty sharp looking little thing that they had made, even though, I mean, you're looking at it and you're like, well, they just grabbed whatever they could find around the house and nailed it. Literally put a couple of 2x4s in there.
Yeah.
That they had cut up to make like the frame for this thing. And then whatever, I mean, there was some tubing. I think that's where I saw and the old oil pan had been painted white. That was in there. And they had some other glass stuff and a couple of lights. And it looked like crap. It certainly didn't look like anything that would have been brought from outer space. But it was still kind of an impressive looking plot. I think it would have looked great if they had shot this in black and white. It would have looked really impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you could see it.
Well, I had this theory that the director, Vic, was walking along the road one day or down a trail or something, and he came by a garbage pile and found a bunch of wires just laying there on the side of the road. And he went, I've got an idea.
And the whole movie just came together.
Yeah, we'll go to Grandpa's barn and we'll put on a show.
Get Darla and
My favorite prop
Spanky and Buckwheat, and everybody will show up. And
what do you, Mom can make the costumes? What do you say, guys? Let's make a porno.
Do you really need costumes in a porno?
Of course you do.
All the ones we've shot.
Sexual tension. My favorite prop was in the FBI office when the guy has his tracker on his wrist.
Yeah.
And they lose his tracker when Zorka steps on it and crushes it after he's kidnapped by Malvira. They're talking to the receptionist out front. They're talking to the receptionist, and she has an oscilloscope sitting on top of the desk, and then they tell her to try to track his frequency on something that probably came out of a very, very old radio station. Because when they do the close-up on it, it shows the FM switch and the AM switch for bands you can choose from. And she was just spinning a button back and forth, looking for the frequency of where he was last found.
Oh, she was spinning the volume button.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you're right.
The volume knob.
They did.
Well, that's how you find people with that thing.
If you turn it up loud enough,
how loud it? Yeah, you turn it up louder and louder until you can hear them. Come on, guys, this is obvious.
But I thought, why would the secretary, why would the secretary or the receptionist or admin assistant have this on the front desk as you come into the office of the FBI?
Well, they didn't have a lot of room in that office.
They did. You're right.
It was pretty crowded. I mean, like the head agent's office, who was the boyfriend of Brink Stevens, he had a pretty damn small office for an FBI director. Even a local FBI director. I'm telling you, I've been in one of those offices and answered some uncomfortable questions, and I'm saying that. That's one of the many things that makes you think when you're watching this that this movie is 20 years older than it was.
Yeah.
And by the way, shot in 2002 in standard definition.
Yeah.
And they clearly didn't shoot it in there was already wide format. There were a lot of wide format. Most cameras were already wide format, whether they were shooting HD or not.
Yeah.
They were already shooting wide format stuff, so you could show it on HDs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so what you're saying is that this movie was premeditated bad.
I think it's just the equipment he had, and he didn't bother updating, because even when they're in the presidential meeting room at whatever travel lodge that was down the road from the White House, there's VHS tape sitting on the table.
When Cindy, the television reporter, is interviewing the old actress, who was abducted, who kept saying she was abducted by aliens.
Yeah.
Remember her?
Yeah.
They're in her house.
Some significance to this whole franchise.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
She may have been.
That's what I was thinking.
She may have been in the original Astro Zombie from 1968. I don't know. I didn't think to look for her. But she's a fallen Hollywood movie actress. And I get, and so she keeps showing this mark on her breast. See, the aliens left this on me, and they're ugly. I would have gone with them willingly because they're ugly. I only go with handsome aliens.
And when you say fallen, that's exactly right, because there were a couple of times it was clear they were having to help her around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
having to hold her up a couple of times.
And but when they go, when the shot where the TV reporter, well, it wasn't Cindy, it was a different reporter for a UFO magazine. My bad. Um, behind the reporter was stack after stack of 8-track tapes.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that now.
I stopped the movie to make sure. I thought, yeah, those are 8-tracks.
Well, did you notice when she was giving her interview the first time? They're in a car
Yes.
museum.
Yeah.
It's
It
like
was
they're doing
supposed.
the Antique Roadshow, and she just shows up and talks about, oh, I was abducted.
Well, apparently that was supposed to be the set of some famous talk show, because you remember the crawl on the screen that said that so and so was recorded this at so and so famous TV talk show, and the talk show set was this antique car museum.
Wow. Yeah, I'm just looking through. So her name, that lady's name was Liz Renee, and she
Okay.
didn't live very long after this movie was made. She has 28 credits on IMDb, and I just want to kind of go through a few of the names of them. Now, there's a few that are recognizable. She was in The Naked and the Dead. She was in an episode of Adam 12. I bet she was not a cop in that. She was in okay, none of the rest of them are that legitimate. So here are the ones that we would want to see. The Thrill Killers.
Yeah.
The Nasty Rabbit. Literally choked
Sorry.
up Calvin.
That's
choked. Awesome. Deadwood 76, where she played Poker Kate. And apparently she's used different names all through, like she's been Melissa Morgan was used in a few movies as her name. So not her character's name, her, who it's credited to. She was in Day of the Nightmare.
Day of the Nightmare.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. It's a sequel to Night of the Daymare, of course.
Yeah.
Uncredited. There's several uncredited roles that she was in. Hot Rods to Hell, Lady Godiva Rides, The Divorcee, something called The Hard Road.
I think I've seen that one, actually.
A classic I have definitely seen, Blackenstein.
Yeah.
Virgin Cowboy. Lady Street Fighter.
That was the prequel to Brokeback Mountain. Yeah.
That's right. Interlude of Lust, where she played Madame Zwala.
Madame Swalla?
Zwalla.
Zwalla. Zoila. It could be Swallow. It could be. And then she went quite a few years without playing anything, and then she was in Dimension and Fear, and then her last two films are The Corpse Grinders 2 and Mark of the Astro Zombies, both of which were direct-to-video. So she has a long history of really shitty movies. So and at least half of which, if I have not seen them, I really want to see them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, The Nasty Rabbit alone looks like a. Here's the Russian spies secretly infect rabbits with a deadly bacteria, then let them loose in the U.S.
Harvey, no!
That sounds like a great name for a band, though. Nasty Rabbits.
It's got Richard Keel in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay.
So where were we with all of this?
We started talking about
and then the lady.
The aliens who showed up to save us. Their masks were just as bad as the reptilian masks of the bad guys, which were clearly made of paper mache.
Yeah.
And then the masks of the three-eyed alien saviors, the one guy could kind of move his jaw. His taller companion could not when they spoke. And if you noticed, one of them is, the leader is talking into like this glittery ball, kind of a microphone. But when he talks to his companion who's standing 3.5 inches from him, the companion has to talk back to him in a different kind of microphone. And they're wearing like kitchen rubber gloves as well for part of the costume.
Yeah.
And the costumes, I wish we could capture a still of the costume and show it on this. They were made of like purple and gold foil. And if you looked at the behind the heads of the good guy, of the three-eyed good guy aliens, they come out like these rays of light from around the backs of their heads.
Almost like a halo effect.
Almost like a halo. Yeah.
And then they used on the camera, I love that they did this. This was a cool effect, I thought. It was just a 4-point star flare on the lens.
Yeah.
It was coming off of everything.
Twinkling everywhere. And I also thought at the end of the movie, almost the end, when the bad guys have been defeated, and apparently when they got their machine that controlled them turned off, the Astro Zombies began bursting into flame and exploding, leaving only their masks and machetes on the ground. Oh, you need to go outside, Buster? Oh, Jesus. Anyway, yeah, they call up the president's council to say, well, we've done this and you're not ready to join us yet, but we'll keep protecting you from these aliens. And nobody in this whole damned movie freaked out that there were aliens calling them on a telephone.
Yeah, the president actually says at one point to one of them, hello? Yes? Well, what planet are you from?
Do you go outside?
Which I don't know if we ever got that.
Yeah. Guys, I got to take the dog out, which I took him out before the thing started.
We'll keep going.
We'll continue to carry on.
Come on, Buster.
I was frustrated that, here these advanced aliens are, they've got this crystal ball technology for their microphones and their star glitter effects and everything like that. But you could only truly understand them when they were on the phone with the president.
Yes.
We relied on those phone calls to actually understand what was going on with the movie.
Yeah, to advance our knowledge of the story's plot line.
I really did. I mean, there was a point at which I had written notes on about half the movie, and then I was like, I just can't keep up with. We talked about in on the previous movie, all these characters kind of coming in. I mean, they just kept adding people in this movie too.
Oh yeah.
And subplots that never really went much of anywhere. Certainly don't contribute to the end of the movie. Which makes me think that Mr. Michaels is not big on editing. It's like, I'm going to shoot a bunch of shit and it's all going in. I don't think much in, I don't think I think in the old editing room when he was editing film, there was nothing on the floor.
Probably not. Especially the way this movie was shot and everything like that. They were probably using film and not video cameras.
It may have been. I mean, because the look of it did kind of change from scene to scene, because there was graininess that showed up that's not the kind that you just add in now. I mean, there was.
Oh yeah.
I think he was using up old stock, and he had started doing direct video stuff. So he's like, well, we're staying with this standard format until I run out of tapes,
There you go. Yeah. And as far as the props go, because we were going to talk about the props here.
Yeah.
Some of those things that you saw on the background of the spaceships was aluminum foil. And it looked like to me that they had just taken saucers and teacups and glued them to the wall. And at one point there was in the good alien spaceship, their big medallion in the middle was the cover for a fan. and they put something in the middle of it that they found that it was dark and it blinked.
Well, at both the FBI and the White House, they had it was clear, like, or the White House meeting room, it was clear that they had used the same USA symbol, the eagle with
Oh yeah.
and they had cut like some sort of like this gold colored thing that went around it to highlight it, and it wasn't very even, so it was very easy to identify that it's the exact same prop in both rooms.
Buster has evacuated himself all over my carport. I'll clean it up later.
Yay.
Oh, lovely. Lovely.
Yes.
Yeah, we could do a lot with Mr. Michaels. He's got a long
Quite the resume.
Yeah, and the tagline for this movie, by the way, let's see, is there more than one? There might be more than one. There are four taglines. There's unbelievable science fiction horror, which is absolutely true.
It is.
Pretty unbelievable. C, the ultimate battle for the fate of mankind. C, alien abductors experiment on hapless humans. And that's true. They didn't have any hap between any of them.
There was no hap.
There was, I mean, I was hopeful they would be hapful, but no, they were hapless. C, machete wielding monsters create panic in the streets.
That they did.
They did. They did.
There was panic in the streets.
And very, when they killed the lady that was the naked lady. They were like at some motor court there in Las Vegas, like just looking into rooms, and I was thinking, I'll bet they didn't tell everybody who was staying at that motor court what they were doing. I'm pretty sure they were kind of like doing, hey, we'll have the lady, living in this motor court room, and we'll see her.
They
in the
probably
shower.
went up, knocked on her door, and said, "Hey, you want to be in a film?"
Yeah, but I mean, none of the people next door got told about that, and all they know is guys in black Wrangler jeans and black sweatshirts wearing this really bad mask from Party City are going to look into their windows just for a second, it would be pretty scary to do that today, because I think Nevada may be one of those castle law states now. They sure as hell couldn't shoot this in Alabama. Like half the cast would be dead. Be sure he walked across my property.
We mentioned the props a while ago, and I forgot to do this then. But the masks of the Astro Zombies were wearing are the very same ones from the 1968 original version of this movie.
Wow.
Yeah, the same masks.
I'm very, very curious to see how the original and this one here match up.
Maybe we should do that one next.
We are doing that one next.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
Okay, I must have missed that part. Okay.
If we had talked about it, do we know where it is?
It's on Tubi.
It is on Tubi.
Like all of our stuff, it's on Tubi.
Oh wow!
And it's just called Astro Zombie.
So it is on. Oh, that's yeah.
Yeah.
It's. I'm glad we saw this one first. Honestly.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I think it gives us some perspective. Because I have a feeling just plain Astro Zombies, it's gonna look like the Seventh Seal compared to this one.
It will be a much better movie. I mean, just the 5 minutes I watched, it was already better than this movie.
Oh, so you did see some of it?
Yeah, I watched the first 5 minutes of it.
Nice.
I mean, and it had Tura Satana in it as Malvira. She
was kind of famous. I mean, she had. And man, back in her day, telling you,
she apparently from her bio, she was her dad was Filipino who moved to Japan. Her mom was was from Mexico or something like that, and then she came to America. Well, the whole family came to America. She was sexually assaulted at the age of 10 by 5 men,
Oh gosh.
and she spent the next 15 years, according to the bio, learning Aikido and Jiu-Jitsu and seeking revenge on these 5 men.
Wow.
Now, I mean, I don't know if that's real or not, but it does sound pretty
That's
epic.
a hell of a good story, though.
It does sound pretty epic.
Well,
I
hope
would
she
watch
did.
that. I really would.
That would
Yeah.
be, well, yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, Ted Michaels has got some. He had the Doll Killers. We mentioned Corpse Grinders. He had the '72 classic, which I have also seen. Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things.
Yep.
That was followed by Blood Orgy of the She Devils right after that.
Yeah. Okay.
And preceded by the Corpse Grinders, which is I've seen previews of that. That one's pretty.
I don't know if you guys remember this, but way back at Sanctuary 1, I mean, just quick explanation for all of our listeners. We all lived at this place. We called it Sanctuary Gardens, and we were forced to move several times due to behavioral issues. And we tended to watch the cheapest films that we could find simply because we were
couldn't
broke all the
afford
time.
the good ones.
Yeah. We couldn't afford the good ones on the top shelf, so we got the ones at the bottom shelf. And we rented that one once,
Yeah.
but we never got to it.
Oh,
Really?
that's the one we kept like checking back out, and it would just sit there in the stack, and it would, and yeah, that's right.
Because we kept rewatching Straight to Hell. And
and Torture Dungeon. It should also be pointed out that we rented these movies not from a local video store like Blockbuster or something like that. They were rented at a convenience store.
What was it
Junior
called?
Food Mart.
A Junior Food Mart.
Was it a Junior Food Mart? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they had 50-cent movies.
Yeah, and those are the ones that we gravitated toward, 49-cent movies. And
yeah, I'm really glad we never ran a black light over those. I'm just saying.
It's like a Jackson Pollock painting.
That's right. That's right. Well, I think this is 2 pork chops eating a squirrel. So yeah, we're gonna have to. We'll do Astro Zombies for the next show, and I think yeah, I would definitely like to see some more of the Ted Michaels. I'd really like to see the older stuff.
We could honestly do a whole season on Ted Michaels movies.
Yeah, we could. But let's get our space science gone wrong out the way first.
Sorry, yeah. But I think I mean, to our listening audience, we've kind of come back here and we've jumped around in this movie trying to talk about so many things that they ended up we talked about them out of sequence because we just keep remembering stuff that happened.
Stupid stuff.
Because this was the original broken narrative film. But that's because the narrative was broken before they ever shot this.
Yeah, I don't think it was on purpose that it was broken.
No.
But
I think it's the best. I think Ted Michaels, like his calendars, he just cuts them up and then glues them back down wherever they land. Hey, tomorrow on the yesterday.
But yeah, this movie. Would you recommend somebody else watch this movie?
No.
That's
why we're here, people. To tell you not to watch it.
Consider this a warning.
It's there's definitely amusement in watching it, but leave it to the professionals like us.
That's right.
who we've already been deadened by a lot of bad movies over the years.
We are dead inside.
We're emotionally stunted human beings that, you know,
Cry a
we
lot.
talk to therapists and they leave the room crying, and you know, you don't want to end up like us, quite frankly.
Right.
It's important that you know, that you take our advice on this. There are just some things that I guarantee you there's going to be movies that this guy made we probably would recommend. I'll bet you Astro Zombies ends up being one of them,
Yeah.
but you never know, because
Right.
we have made we during the Bigfoot
Like,
season.
yeah, last season, who would have thought?
Sorry.
You okay, Paul?
Yeah, I'm knocking shit over. Sorry.
That you know, Bigfoot versus DB Cooper would be so amazingly entertaining.
And yet, the man who shot Hitler and then the Bigfoot would be a good movie.
Yeah.
And Bigfoot versus the Illuminati would be so bad that it might be the worst movie we've ever seen.
You know, that movie,
But in a painful way. Like,
you know, Bigfoot versus the Illuminati, I almost wish it has subliminal messaging to tell us to kill ourselves after watching it.
I think it did.
We're so dead inside that it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, I think I said at the time I had to go to a hospital just to stare at some open wounds to kind of straighten my head back out.
And what happens in the mountains stays in the mountains too literally made me angry watching it.
And that, oh man, yeah, it's
so,
you know, it is kind of an amazing thing when I see that one, and I saw this, and including this one. There's more audiences for it than just people watching them out of, oh well, this ought to be funny because it's a bad, you know.
Yeah.
There's people that watch it because they're like, oh sweet man, Mark of the Astro Zombies, shit yeah.
That's what we did, Paul.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
And of course they're filmed in most cases locally, so people who watch them are like, "Hey, that's the quick mark where I got arrested," you know, stuff like that.
so our
I got a blowy behind that FBI office.
Our wrap-up movie review has turned into a production meeting and then whatever the hell this is. So we hope you like the bonus material.
Yeah. Well, this was fun, guys. We had it was a catharsis of sorts. You know, we had to deal with you guys
Well,
are
set
really
the
are
bar
emotional
for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
Oh,
you guys are the
yes.
listeners are really our emotional tampons when you think I mean, we are having to
You
we
just
have
lost.
to get this shit out now. You know,
You just lost every viewer we have or listener we have by saying emotional tampons.
well, I stole that line too. I can't remember who I stole it from. There's some comic that said it, and it's a perfect description for.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to. If we don't let this stuff out, it's just bottled up inside us until we get to the next movie.
Yeah.
And you know, that's just.
And if we don't do it before the next, you know, if it comes out before the next movie, we usually end up getting arrested.
Yeah, I mean, or you know, people could get hurt. All right, we don't want that to happen. And so we have to, you know, when we see that, because literally we ended the last one or the actual regular episode for this, and it's like, I don't know, we got to get more. There's more to know. Okay. So yeah, I would not recommend this either. Don't watch this movie. It's unless you're a completist of Ted V. Michaels. It's not worth watching, even though it's the last film of that white-haired lady, unless you're a completist of her films. Don't
right. or
Okay.
Tura Satana, her work. Start with Faster Pussycat Kill Kill.
Yeah.
But she was in a couple more before that.
Yeah.
And she was also a go-go dancer at some point.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, now I got to bring up a piece of trivia about her. It's not directly about her, but it was inspired by her.
Okay.
The band Faster Pussycats took their name from the movie.
That's
Yes.
true.
Faster Pussycats Kill Kill because they loved her in it.
It's
That's
true.
true. That's true. And yeah, she had it going on, man.
So anyway,
Brink Stevens, by the way, who played the reporter in this movie, she has 248 247 credits as an actress.
really,
Yeah, and she's already, I mean, we're recording this in mid-March. She's already got 3 movies out this year. Okay. The most recent one, she's playing someone named Zelda in Amityville Apartment.
Okay, that one's going on the list. Just name alone.
And I loved her voice. She had a perfect radio voice.
Yeah.
Yes.
She was great. I loved listening to her speak. She's great.
She's in the one of her, I love some of the titles of hers. She's in a movie in last year, one of many, called Big Freaking Snake. The Night Jane Went Insane, Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bowl-O-Rama 2. That was in 2022. Yeah, she's got a long
247 credits.
Yeah.
Well, people who do like commercials and stuff, they make almost as much money as some of the big Hollywood names.
Yeah, true.
And she was in she was in All the Marbles, which was that was a major release motion picture.
Yeah.
She was an extra in that.
So this was supposed to just, sorry, Paul, I don't mean to cut you off, but this was supposed to just be like a few minutes and we've already gone yet another episode. So thank everyone for listening to this bonus material. I want to say, please.
Well, you almost made it, Tom, but you didn't. Everybody, join us for the next riveting episode of The Turkish Diplomats Present Charming Noise.